I'm wondering if there's any of you out there who've done much traveling. Welcome to Nightsounds. I'm Bill Pearce. As I look back over my ministry and career, I've traveled for about 45 years. Never really cared for traveling very much. In fact, prior to that, I went overseas in the service. Didn't particularly want to be there either. But I have learned that traveling can be a pleasure and an opportunity. And I've picked up a couple of good tips en route. One of them being travel light. Years ago, I recall carrying an instrument in what seemed to be a bomb-proof case because I had to check it, and that was the death stroke for any musical instrument. Also, boxes of vinyl records, a heavy suitcase, and a clothes bag. So it's a good lesson to be learned for those of you who travel quite a bit. Travel light. And that's the title of our program tonight. We're going to begin with some soul music. That's best rendered on, say, an old-fashioned Hammond organ with a Leslie speaker and somebody who really knows how to man it. And we have a case in point right here. Getting us off and running in a soul fashion. Add to this a singing group like the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir and friends. We have music on our hands, especially as we want to travel light.
Jesus will make a way. Jesus will make a way through every dark cloud, through every day. I know that Jesus will make a way.
I've been tested and been tried, tossed by winds on every side, faced mountains in my way, couldn't see the light of day. In my desperate hour, I just called on his name and found that Jesus, he made a way.
Jesus will make a way. Jesus will make a way through every dark cloud, through every day. I know that Jesus will make a
I've been tired and so afraid, been discouraged and so down, was tempted to give up and felt so ashamed. The day I looked to him and I called out his name, I found that Jesus, he made a way. Yes, he did.
Jesus will make a way. Jesus will make a way through every dark cloud, through every day. I know that Jesus will make a way.
some traveling music by the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. So, let's come down a few thousand feet here and continue in a little lower scale, laid-back kind of mood as we traverse our way through the next few moments of Nightsounds. Thank you for joining me. I'm Bill Pearce. As you know, if you listen to us for any length of time, basically we feature very mellow music. But now and then, we'll just up the levels a little bit and put in some animation. And since we're underway here, I've decided to call our time together tonight Traveling Light. It's always good to have a traveling companion with you, too. Someone who will stay there and know what to do and how to advise you, especially when you're stranded at some foreign airport, or you've misplaced your baggage, or you've lost your way or gotten on the wrong plane. Lots of things like that can happen when you're on the road. So the better part of wisdom is to travel light. I'm thinking of some other guys who did this. We hear about them in Matthew, the Gospel, chapter 10, verses 9 and 10. A moment ago, the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir sang, "Jesus will make a way," when there doesn't seem to be a way. And since we're centering on Him tonight again, you may remember that when He sent these 12 men, His disciples, out on a mission, He charged them, quote, "Take no money, no gold, no silver, no copper in your wallets, no suitcases for the journey. Don't even have a change of clothing, nor shoes, nor a staff or credit cards, for the laborer deserves his food." Now that's somewhat of a paraphrase of the scriptural portion there in Matthew 10. But basically, Jesus' advice as His disciples were leaving on that preaching mission was to travel light, or to be more correct grammatically, lightly. And He knew a good many possessions would be like a weight to slow them down. Most of us take too much on a trip. We think, well, I better take 2 or 3 of these and a couple of these, just in case. Before we know it, we've got 2 suitcasefuls of stuff that probably we'll only use a third of. Jesus knew that it would be like a weight, and perhaps taking every kind of provision would take away from their trust in God. And He knew that we can easily be imprisoned by the things we own. Sometimes what we possess can too easily possess us. I was thinking about that the other day in my private devotions in the morning. I was looking around the little place where I live, and it occurred to me, I could do very well without probably a half to 2/3 of this stuff. And I made a decision right then and there that if necessary, I would give it away and live only on what I need, to scale down, if necessary. Jesus' advice about traveling light is very helpful for you and me tonight on the Christian journey. I remember in the service we used to have a pack on our backs with everything we owned. That pack was not to weigh more than 60 pounds. That wasn't too difficult to carry. The soldier knows that the cause he fights for is too important to allow him to be burdened by things he carries along, especially extraneous items. Pioneers never have the luxury of taking with them huge wardrobes. They have to select carefully. And anyone who follows Christ also learns that his life is a kind of pilgrimage toward the ultimate goal of the kingdom of God. And we dare not take on any burdens that will impede the journey. There's a work by John Taylor with the title Enough is Enough. And Taylor observed that despite the great beauty of a medieval cathedral, the grandeur of that cathedral symbolized wealth and power and esteem, if not downright human pride. He suggested that modern church builders not make the same mistake of building in grandeur. Instead, churches should be very simple structures, because the church doesn't represent wealth, but the capacity to travel light. He went on to say that our homes should also reflect that we are Jesus' disciples who've taken on the mission of traveling light. It's really not necessary to abandon our homes or our desire for beauty, space, rest, and warmth. In fact, just this morning as I awoke around 5 o'clock, I began to think of things that I would love to have. And it occurred to me that I have rich tastes. I appreciate symmetry and beauty and value. I love a sports car with good clean lines and a powerful engine. I go through a men's clothing department and my eyes could pick out $1,000 worth of haberdashery. The right kind. But after I enumerated all this in my mind, I said, Lord, it really doesn't matter much, does it? The scriptures say, naked we came into this world, naked we shall return. We can't take it with us. And when we consider our mission, the reason we're here, again, it's the better part of wisdom to simplify and to travel light. Tonight's program is not one about masochism or heroism, but of balance. To put first things first and to consider our priority system. I'm going to ask a singer now by the name of Bill Pearce, no relation, to sing a song in a very unique style with the title First Things First. Let's listen closely to the lyrics.
Good
Bill Pearce, the song entitled First Things First. And this is Nightsounds. I'm Bill Pearce with you after dark. The program Nightsounds, by God's divine providence, comes on the air about 5 nights a week on this station, and how honored we are to be a part of this outlet. I'd love to hear from you. Many of you have such valuable input. I learn a lot from you. Good to hear about your life and how God's leading you. Some of you are going through stressors, and we can share in prayer support with you. Our mailing address is Nightsounds, Wheaton, Illinois, 60189. If the attendant ministries of Nightsounds, other than the program you're hearing, can be of help, this is our desire. Through the printed material, the albums of music. That's why we're on the road, folks. As the song said, to witness for Christ to a lost world. This is what our journey is all about. And again, it's a matter of perspective and balance. And it was this perspective that Jesus didn't want us to lose. He didn't demand that all of his disciples give up their property. Instead, we're told about Simon Peter's home and about wealthy women who gave money to support Jesus. But he did demand we keep our perspective. If we seek only the glittering lights or the shopping mall or the things of value, the beautiful objects, well, it's like a dark night. With artificial illumination around, we'll not see the stars. But if we do see the stars, our pathway will be a little bit more delicate to find, but we trust more that way. Back in Jesus' day, the culture in which he lived had just about as much discontent as our own tonight. He saw the anxiety in the faces of the crowd, an anxiety rooted in a lack of trust in the Heavenly Father. But he called on his people to travel light. The center of Christ's message was bound up with the conviction that his people have resources to resist the pull of greed. In traveling light, that means we're more selective of what we take with us. As we walk, as we ride, as we fly, as we sail, we need to know that our God is in command and that our perspective and balance are right. The Otis Gillings Orchestra plays in the background an old gospel song. In fact, this recording was made 20 years ago. But it's still timely in its beauty and instrumentation, and certainly its message. Now walk with God. He will walk with you. It's reciprocal. Trust in the Lord with all your heart as you travel. And lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. Boy, that's good to know as we travel in these days. Someone said to me the other day, I have no desire to travel out of the continental limits of the U.S. We just never know what's out there. I'm going to let this orchestration play for a few minutes, just as we contemplate our direction, the kind of baggage we may be taking with us. We can lighten up. A lot of things we're handling and dragging along that are burdening us down. Spiritually, emotionally, physically, intellectually. Let's run a lean, mean machine, okay? Streamline it down. We'll move with a lighter step, with more confidence. We'll get to the goal. In better shape, too. So be it, to the glory of our God. Good idea as we travel. Walk with God. Just a couple of seconds here of a trombone solo we played some time ago on recording, which I'd like to share as our traveling benediction tonight. Gentle Shepherd, come and lead us, for we need you to help us to find our way. As you lay your head on the pillow tonight and go out of the door in faith tomorrow, we really don't know what we're going to meet, do we? But we know who holds that future. Let's trust Him right now. Gentle Shepherd, come and feed us, for we need your strength from day to day. As we take our way into the darkness sometimes, into the unknown, may we recognize his strength and his leading on the journey. Travel light. Good counsel. Thank you for sharing tonight. Our mailing address is Nightsounds, Wheaton, Illinois, 60189. May God go with you as you get underway and travel light. In his name, till we meet again, a peaceful good night.